Welcome to this explainer. When you picture a dairy farm, your mind probably jumps straight to that classic traditional scene. We're talking cows peacefully grazing in a green field, maybe an old red barn in the background. But the reality of modern agriculture? It is practically science fiction. Today, we are diving deep into dairy biotechnology. We're going to trace this incredibly fascinating high-tech journey from microscopic DNA all the way to the food sitting right there in your fridge. Let's get right into it.
So let's lay down the foundation here. Basically, dairy biotechnology is the use of biological sciences and advanced technologies to improve dairy animal production, milk composition, processing methods, and the development of totally innovative dairy products. If you think of the cow as the traditional hardware of a farm, biotechnology is essentially the ultimate software upgrade. We are combining molecular biology, advanced genetics, and microbiology to completely revolutionize how we produce food. Literally from the animal itself straight to the cheese on your pizza.
Which leads us to a really massive, intriguing question. How exactly does DNA change our dairy? Because we aren't just farming anymore, right? We are quite literally rewriting the code of agriculture to make our entire food system more efficient, safer, and a whole lot more nutritious.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with what dairy biotech actually is, then move into building a better bovine, crafting those dairy products, weighing the pros and cons, and finally, peering into the future of dairy farming.
Okay, Section 1. What is dairy biotechnology? Let's look at the foundational goals.
We aren't just doing science for the fun of it here. These objectives solve massive real-world challenges. Think about it. By increasing milk production and improving reproductive efficiency, we can actually feed a rapidly growing population. By bumping up the nutritional quality and developing functional foods, we make people healthier. And, absolutely crucial here, by enhancing disease resistance and supporting sustainable farming practices, we drastically reduce our environmental footprint while taking way better care of the animals.
Moving right along to Section 2, building a better bovine. Let's talk about farm-level science.
So, how do farmers actually decide which cows to breed? Well, they use genomic selection. This relies on DNA markers, specifically these things called single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs, alongside genome-wide analysis. It's kind of like a highly exclusive DNA-based dating app for cattle. Scientists scan the cow's DNA to find specific tiny variations that act like markers. By identifying these superior traits at the genetic level, they can accurately predict a cow's potential before it even grows up. This means they can breed for improved milk protein and natural disease resistance with just incredible accuracy.
Okay, so once we identify those elite genetics, how do we multiply them? That's where reproductive biotechnology comes in. Step 1 is artificial insemination, using semen from genetically superior bulls to rapidly spread beneficial traits across a herd. Step 2 takes it further with embryo transfer. This is where embryos from elite cows are actually transferred over to recipient females, meaning you can multiply the offspring of the absolute best animals. And step 3? That takes the whole shebang to the highest level with in vitro fertilization, where fertilization happens in perfectly controlled laboratory conditions to support highly advanced breeding programs.
But keeping these elite animals healthy is just as vital. Molecular biotechnology acts as this high-tech rapid response system right on the farm. We can rapidly detect devastating issues like mastitis, brucellosis, and bovine tuberculosis. Instead of waiting around for visible symptoms to show up, farmers use molecular techniques like PCR tests, ELISA, and DNA-based diagnostics to spot pathogens instantly. This proactively protects the animal's health and, of course, prevents massive economic losses for the farmer.
Now, this next part really illustrates just how sci-fi this gets. Transgenic dairy animals. Through genetic engineering, scientists can actually create milk-producing animals that act as living bioreactors. Just imagine this for a second. Cows that are genetically engineered to produce, well, essentially life-saving therapeutic and pharmaceutical proteins right inside their milk. It's the ultimate blending of agriculture and medicine. No way around it. That is just cool.
All right, jumping to Section 3, crafting better dairy products. Let's step inside the processing plant.
Inside the plant, it's basically an epic tale of microbes versus enzymes. On the microbe side, we've got a living, invisible workforce. Beneficial bacteria like Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus are what literally ferment milk into yogurt, alongside specific starter cultures used for cheese.
On the flip side, we have enzymes, which are extracted proteins with a very specific job. For example, lactase breaks down lactose. That is the exact reason you can buy lactose-free milk at the store today. Meanwhile, enzymes like chymosine, often called rennet, and lipases are used to craft cheese and give it that distinct, delicious flavor we all love.
And biotechnology isn't just about yield or flavor. It's actually about upgrading our own biology through probiotics and functional dairy foods. We're talking probiotic yogurts, functional milk beverages, and fermented dairy packed with beneficial microorganisms. When we eat these biotech-crafted foods, they actively go to work inside our bodies to improve our gut health, boost our immunity, and really aid human digestion.
Of course, all of this incredible innovation means absolutely nothing if the food isn't safe. That's where milk safety biotechnology acts as the ultimate quality control checkpoint. Before a carton of milk ever even reaches a grocery store shelf, scientists are using advanced biosensors, rapid microbial detection, and molecular diagnostics to hunt down pathogenic microorganisms, antibiotic residues, or honestly any other contaminants. This guarantees a longer shelf life and completely protects us as consumers.
Let's move to Section 4, the impact, pros and cons. Time to balance the outcomes. With any major technological leap, we've got to look at the whole picture objectively. On one hand, the advantages are just undeniable. We get higher milk production, vastly improved animal health, much faster genetic improvement, and severely reduced disease losses. Basically, more food and safer food. But on the other hand, the limitations are very real. These are highly complex systems. They come with massive high-tech costs and require specialized, skilled labor to run. Plus, there's significant ethical concerns surrounding genetic modification, along with some pretty strict regulatory hurdles and the ongoing challenge of public acceptance.
And finally, Section 5, the future of dairy farming. Let's look at the scientific advancements on the horizon.
The future of this industry relies heavily on bioinformatics and molecular biology. Cutting-edge tools like DNA sequencing and CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing are currently being used to literally analyze cattle genomes line by line. By combining gene expression analysis with AI-driven predictions, scientists can pinpoint the exact genes responsible for a useful trait, and theoretically, they can edit the genome to perfectly enhance that exact feature in future generations.
And honestly, these aren't just far-off concepts for 50 years from now. Look at the advances already happening out in the field today. We are seeing precision dairy farming relying on AI-based animal health monitoring. We have metagenomics mapping out dairy microbes in unprecedented detail, right alongside advanced probiotic development and fully automated milk quality analysis. This hypermodern automated reality is a pretty sharp contrast from that traditional pastoral farming imagery we usually think of, isn't it?
So looking back at our journey today, it's pretty wild to see how each specialized area of biotechnology directly translates into the real-world applications that we benefit from every single day. Genomic selection gives us DNA-based breeding decisions. AI and embryo transfer drive genetic improvement and multiply those elite animals. Fermentation and enzyme tech, that gives us our yogurt, cheese, and lactose-free milk. Molecular diagnostics secure our farms with rapid disease detection, and probiotics give us those functional, health-boosting foods. It is a complete, unbroken pipeline from DNA straight to the dairy aisle.
Which leaves us with one final provocative thought to ponder. As biotechnology continues to merge with artificial intelligence and genetics to create more sustainable agricultural systems, will your next glass of milk come from a climate-resistant, gene-edited cow? It's a fascinating prospect for the future of our food supply for sure. I really hope this explainer completely changes the way you think the next time you walk down the dairy aisle. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and stay curious.